We've made our love for the Assassin's Creed franchise known on this channel. In fact, after our video covering our top 5 Assassin's Creed games, I was inspired to pick up Assassin's Creed Odyssey and give it another go, and ended up pouring some 60 odd hours into the story. So it's pretty fair to say we're excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The Viking era and Saxon era England are rich in storytelling possibilities, and Norse mythology lends itself to some occult and supernatural side quests, much like those in Odyssey. Ubisoft hosted their Ubisoft Forward livestream at the start of the week, and among the announcements of Far Cry 6, gameplay of Watch Dogs Legion, and a look into their upcoming Battle Royale Hyperscape, we got to see our first real look at gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I say first real look because we all agree that the so-called gameplay reveal in the Xbox Live Showcase was a little underwhelming. Welcome back to GameGentleman. In this week's video, we've taken apart both the 8-minute gameplay trailer shown during the event and the 30-minute gameplay walkthrough shown in the post-show content, and picked out the 5 things you should know before going into the game. As always, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date, and stick around till the end of the video to learn how you could win a collector's edition of Assassin's Creed Valhalla for the PlayStation. The settlements. The reason you find yourself in the hostile foreign lands of Saxon-era England in the first case is that you're searching for fertile lands and a better life for your people. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, your settlement acts as your base of operations and the home of your alliance map, outlining the alliances you have made throughout your journey. Building your settlement is an important mechanic and will unlock better tools and services, but this requires you to farm resources. And where do you get those resources? From a good old village raid, of course. Like the picture you probably have in your head when you think of Vikings, Eivor can raid villages up and down the countryside, you'll fight alongside your raiding party, and we see from the gameplay demo you'll meet and recruit characters along your journey to join you in these quests. But more on that later. This mechanic feels very similar to your home of Monteriggioni in Assassin's Creed 2, and we expect the services you uncover will be along the lines of merchants, blacksmiths, stables, and shipbuilders. The combat. Throughout both the trailers, we see that combat looks like it iterates on the light-heavy combat style of Origins and Odyssey, particularly with the ability to dual-wield any combination of weapons in the game, including new weapon types suited to Viking warriors such as flails, hammers, axes, shields, and something called a Viking harpoon. It also appears that you can pick up the weapon of an enemy near death and use it to finish them off, adding devastating insult to fatal injury. We see a wide variety of enemy types, including your regular foot soldiers and archers, shield bearers, huge brutes, and berserkers who also appear to be able to dual-wield weapons. We see new enemy combat behaviours such as working together to flank you, throwing objects from the environment, including the bodies of other soldiers, and juking to avoid your arrow shots. We also see health and stamina bars for both the player and enemies, with stamina depleting for actions such as heavy attacks and blocking damage. Once an enemy's stamina is depleted, players can deal large amounts of damage in a stun attack, or if their health is low enough, trigger a finishing move. Something which we thought was very casually mentioned in the gameplay trailer is the fact that health is no longer regenerative like it was in Origins and Odyssey, and players would have to hunt, fish, and forage for supplies in order to recover. Leveling up seems to be similar to the last 2 entries, with players earning XP to unlock skills based on one of 3 skill trees, with the more active skills tied to melee and ranged combat being unlocked by discovering books of knowledge throughout the world. Gameplay. There will, of course, be a mainline quest to follow in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, following Eivor as he or she strives to build a thriving settlement, form alliances, and inevitably come in conflict with the many kingdoms of England. We see a number of major castle raids being hinted at in both the gameplay trailer and 30-minute deep dive, with players needing to recruit allies from within the region in order to have a strong enough force to succeed. In some respects, it feels similar to the mechanic of reducing the Athenian or Spartan influence within a region in Odyssey before choosing a side in battle. No doubt, each of these allies or factions you need to recruit will require you to complete a quest for them first. Additionally, we see more of the narrative choices that were present in Odyssey playing out in Valhalla. Throughout the 30-minute deep dive, we see Eivor choosing to spare an enemy, which backfires on you later in the story and presents a second branch of choices for the player to make. leading the player down one of several possibilities for that quest to play out. We'll have to wait until the game comes out to see just how deep these choices go and what impact they have on the overall narrative. Lastly, we see Eivor recruit an ally to join their party in another mechanic similar to Odyssey's ship lieutenants. As previously mentioned, these allies will accompany you on raids, fighting alongside you and no doubt bringing their own unique skills or perks into the fray. Getting around. Several times during the gameplay demo, we see Eivor take command of a Viking longship helmed by their raiding party. The design and size of Viking longships allow it to travel through waterways that you wouldn't have been able to in the larger ships of AC Odyssey or Black Flag. Travelling through the waterways seems to be a major way of getting around, and players can use their ship to disembark at any point on the map rather than relying on docking at fixed points like in previous AC titles. During travel, you can set your ship to a navigation mode of sorts and allow your crew to sing, or switch to listening to tall tales of your crew's past adventures and exploits. We did not see any traditional naval combat in the gameplay demo, but we did see some land-to-sea warfare taking place in the siege at the start, with Eivor and crew having to brace a volley of flaming arrows. Those of you who are more inclined to keep your feet on solid ground need not worry, as we see glimpses of Eivor riding on horseback throughout the gameplay trailer as well. Side quests and minigames. Like all Assassin's Creed games, Valhalla will be chock full of side quests littered throughout the map to distract you from mainlining the story. Where Valhalla differs from its predecessors, however, is in its range of minigames that we see during the gameplay demo. Flighting has been one of the most heavily written about minigames since it was first announced, with many comparing it to modern day rap battles. Based on a real Viking tradition, two opponents would match wits and trade barbs and insults at one another. In Valhalla, we see this minigame take place through a timed dialogue tree where players must pick the best of 3 options in order to successfully progress. At the start of your flight, you can wager different amounts, and successful completion not only has the potential to earn you a decent amount of coin quickly, it also boosts your charisma. Although, we do hope that the writing in flights does get a little more creative than what we saw in the demo, otherwise this may be one we'll avoid unless it's necessary to progress the story. We see other minigames such as drinking challenges where you must defeat your opponent in downing 3 horns of ale, archery challenges, while drunk no less, and for a change of pace to the game, a practice called building a cairn where you must stack a group of rocks to reach a certain height requirement. The cairn building challenge looks like it will be deceptively difficult and potentially very frustrating. Lastly, we see a tattoo design float in the wind, which the player must chase down in a mechanic reminiscent of the Benjamin Franklin letters of Assassin's Creed 3, challenging the player's free-running skill and sometimes luck depending on if the controls want to keep you moving forward or make you jump 45 degrees to the left. Bonus mention, cross-gen compatibility. A quick note to say that both PlayStation and Xbox have confirmed free upgrades to next-gen versions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X owners. Before we wrap up the video, we're very excited to announce a giveaway to celebrate the launch of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We'll be giving away a PlayStation version of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla Collector's Edition to one lucky winner. The Collector's Edition includes an Ultimate Edition copy of the game, 12-inch statue of female Eivor and her Drakkar, collector's case, Ubisoft Store exclusive steelbook, a 2-inch statuette of a male Eivor with his raven, a set of 3 concept art lithographs, game soundtrack, and certificate of authenticity with the unique number of the Collector's Edition. For transparency's sake, this Collector's Edition has not been supplied by Ubisoft, nor is this giveaway endorsed by them in any capacity. We've purchased this out of our own pocket and we'll be doing an unboxing video of the Collector's Edition on our channel before sending the prize to the winner. As this is a retail edition, we expect to receive this on launch date. We'll send it to the winner as quickly as we possibly can, but depending on your location, you may have to wait a week or 2 to receive it. Hopefully, as we're doing this far enough in advance, you haven't already pre-ordered your own copy. Over the next 4 weeks, to go into the draw to win this Collector's Edition, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like our video, and quote the creed, "Nothing is true, everything is permitted," in the comments section. You'll only need to do this once over the next 4 weeks to enter, and we'll even leave it in the video descriptions so it's a nice and easy copy-paste. For an additional entry, share any of our videos over the next 4 weeks on Facebook or Instagram and tag our page @GameGentleman. We'll announce our winner on the 19th of August. And that's the 5 things you need to know before heading into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Are you excited for this title? Was there anything in the gameplay that stood out to you? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and quote the creed to go into the draw for a chance to win the Valhalla Collector's Edition. This has been GameGentleman, and thanks for watching.